everybody, and welcome back to Modded Minecraft, coming to you from the KerPOWCraft Age of Heroes server. My name is Tolbert, and I'm your host, and thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Well, I'm starting down here in the basement of the powerhouse, because there's some things about this that I am not happy about. The biggest thing is that I have to go to the nether to grab about 80 stacks of netherrack just to fill this chest so that these crucibles can run and provide power to this entire thing. And that's about every couple of days I gotta do that. That is a lot of netherrack to get to keep this place running on lava, and I don't like that very much. I can't be bothered going to the nether to get a bunch of netherrack, and so we're going to change this up a little bit. Something that I found out about is 1, the aqueous accumulator, and 2, the arboreal extractor. Now let's start with the arboreal extractor. That will, when put next to a tree, will extract certain fluids from a tree. From oak trees, it'll get sap. From birch and spruce trees, it'll get the more important resin. And from spruce trees themselves, it gets twice as much resin for every cycle. So one thing I did was grow those 2 really large spruce trees. I extended the basement out a little bit, and I put in a whole bunch of these arboreal extractors next to the spruce trees, and you can see the pipes are just filled with resin here, waiting to be used. Well, on top of that, as I was saying, the aqueous accumulator, what that particular one does is that if we come in here and we put 1 accumulator right there, we'll grab our bucket of water, we'll put some water right next to it, and then if we grab the fluid duct, you can see that it's already extracting water. Or it's not. Maybe it's got to be water on 2 sides here. So let's reorient this a little bit like that, and let's grab ourselves another bucket of water real quick here. Just grab that, head on back down and put that there, and let's see. There it goes. So if with 2 sides have water on it, it's going to start extracting water. Now the nice thing is, while it extracts water, it does not actually use up that water source block, which is wonderful. So we're going to accumulate a lot of water, we're going to be getting a lot of resin, and with those 2 things, we're going to take them over to a fractioning still. Actually, just the resin to the fractioning still, and the resin is going to be changed into rosin and tree oil. And we'll get to that important part in a minute. Let me go ahead and build this up a little bit. I'm going to change this floor into a big pattern of these aqueous accumulators. So we're going to have a ton of water to use. I'm going to start over in this corner and pattern it all the way over to that corner, like crazy like this. So let me get that done, and then I'll be right back. And so there, we should never have a need to actually gather water ever again, at least when it comes to this area down here. So now we're going to pipe this over to the wall out this way, and we're going to throw up a bunch of tanks here for it. Also, in here, we're going to throw a bunch of tanks against this wall, all for this resin here. So we're going to go ahead and just extend that pipe there, and that should be good. So if we throw a whole bunch of tanks on this layer, we can throw in a whole bunch of fluid ducts on that next layer down, which will lead all the way over here as well. So let me go ahead, get the tanks in here, or at least try to get them in here in some way, shape, or form that will work to get them over all the pipes out into this generalized area. All right, there we go. We went ahead and dug out this little area back here and put in a whole bunch of these aqueous accumulators, I believe. Aqueous accumulators. So we're gonna have water to pretty much last a lifetime. Now we have it all coming over to these 4 tanks. We have all of the resin coming over to these 8 tanks. And now it's time for us to go ahead and run a little test with this fractionating still. And we're going to fill that up with resin, and it's going to give us rosin and tree oil. Now this already had some power in it, so it's already started to convert it, but the test we need to run has to do with a compression dynamo and a steam dynamo. Now this is the thing, we have these 2 dynamos, and the steam dynamo will take, there's too many things there to go looking for it. Let's go here. If we go ahead and uses of rosin in a steam dynamo, it's 8,000 RF we can get from one piece of rosin. And then also from the tree oil, which I can't do it that way. Okay, let's come this way for tree oil. There it is. We can put that in. Well, that's not showing it properly. Okay, let's go this way. Compression dynamo with tree oil will give us 400,000 RF. So we got to hook this up and see just exactly what we can get. First off, to hook this up, we need fluid ducts, because these 2 things require water. So we go ahead and throw the water in there on both sides. Good. Now we need an item duct leading into the steam dynamo. So let's go ahead and throw that there. And we should see if it's configured correctly. Let me double check this. So, yep, the rosin comes out the left and the tree oil comes out the right. Red for red, yellow for yellow. So that rosin should start coming in there shortly. And while we wait for that, let's go ahead and get a fluid duct and connect up for the tree oil over here. And you know what? I don't like the way that's connecting there. Knock that out. We can just go straight across for that one and disconnect that. And I hope that's giving tree oil, and it doesn't look like it. Actually, doesn't look like either one's coming out. Oh, you know what? We don't have any energy piping. So let's grab the hardened flux duct here and let's get some energy flowing. We'll just connect this up right over this way. There we go. Now we should have some energy flowing in there, and we do. And the resin balls came out to there. And what are we missing here? Let's try doing this again. Let's pop those off. Nope, that's a flux duct, not an item duct. Try that again. Or not item duct, fluid duct. We need fluid. So can I connect this properly? I don't know if this can get connected properly. I may have to move this around a little bit. So give me 1 minute to move that around and we'll come back. All right, there we go. And now we have the rosin going in there. We have the tree oil coming into this one. Now the little test we have to see is, will these keep on running off of the one fractionating still? Don't know. But we're going to find out. And we're going to go ahead and take the power generation from this, and we're going to go ahead and I created 4 more energy cells for us to find out exactly how much energy is going to come in here. And I kind of want to keep this on a closed circuit. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that. And since I want to keep it on a closed circuit, let's go ahead and connect it up to the power here. So we're going to configure this for output coming out the top. And so they all should be sharing incoming energy. Output coming out the top, coming back to the fractionating still. Fractionating still is only maximum is 20 RF per tick. So as long as we have enough power coming in and then coming back out, it'll keep on running. Each of these can go up to 40 RF per tick, as long as they have stuff to keep on moving. And as we can see, this one is already not keeping up with the one fractionating still. That rosin ball is getting consumed way too quickly, so we need another fractionating still to try and catch up with that. So let's get another one in here and then see how things go. So after some testing, it seems that 3 of the fractionating stills is what's needed in order to keep this steam dynamo running with rosin. I had hooked up 3, that number went all the way up to 24. I disconnected the 3rd one and it has been going slowly down ever since. So let's go ahead and reconnect this fractionating still so we can get that rosin production again. We can go ahead and increase the RF and hopefully get that running. Now this is a problem that I see here, is that I have 3 fractionating stills and only 2 dynamos. So I'm using 60 RF per tick. I'm only generating 80 RF per tick, 40 between each of these. That is not enough to me. I want to be generating a positive 100 per tick. So looking at this again, the tree oil, we're starting to increase a reservoir of that in all of these machines. So I think we need another compression dynamo to add to this to start using up more tree oil that we get. So let's go make a compression dynamo real quick. Let me open my doorway here so I can get out. And let's head on up and make another compression dynamo. So even with a second compression dynamo, we still have an excess of tree oil happening here. These have slowly been rising from what they were, 900 up to 2100, 600 up to 11, and I forget how much back up to 2100. So we're still not utilizing enough tree oil out of this for the 2 compression dynamos. Now this is the thing. Before I want to try putting in a 3rd dynamo, I want to see about upgrading these dynamos, each with 2 of these fuel catalyzers and 2 of the auxiliary transmission coil. Try to increase the output and power generation and see what we can get to. If we can get to a point of utilizing too much of this tree oil. So let me go ahead, go make a couple upgrade kits, and once again, I'll be back. Now this is something that I was afraid of happening, is with upgrading all 3 of these dynamos, including this steam one, it's doubling the output. It's also doubling how fast it uses the rosin here. It's going through it like a knife through butter, which I don't like. However, on the compression dynamos, this tree oil may have gone down, but you can see the others are still going up. So we're not quite utilizing all of that tree oil just yet. And that is on 2 upgrades here, one with the fuel catalyzer and 1 transmission coil. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade these 2 one more time. And we're going to take a look at putting in 1 more fuel catalyzer into both of these. And let's see what kind of throughput we get. It does increase the power to 200 RF per tick, which is nice. And I also want to see it start using this tree oil. This one's probably almost gone. And it just happens to be pulling from that one first. But 1 going down and 2 going up does not equal a balance. And we want a balance. So the second thing I got to look at is increasing the rosin that we get out of here. And something that I noticed is that this little 50% for rosin. Well, we don't want 50% for rosin. We want a possible 100% for rosin. So let's actually take a look here at some of the upgrades that we have available. One of them is this auxiliary sieve, which increases the chances of a secondary output. However, additional energy is required per operation, but we can possibly even that out. So the way I understand it is that each one of those is a quarter of this percent added back to it. So in order to get 100%, we need to fully upgrade these, and all 4 upgrade auxiliary slots need to be filled with that particular upgrade. So all right, let me go make some upgrades and get these upgraded and get those upgrades in there so that we have 100% rosin and 100% tree oil. So here is what I'm left with at the moment. I have each one of these fractionating stills all fully upgraded with a secondary output. So now we are getting rosin balls pretty quickly. The thing is, this little guy can't keep up with it. He's not burning fast enough to get rid of it, and we have all of these fuel catalyzers in here. So we're going to actually try switching some of these out for the quicker burning ones, and see if we can't get that number to come down a significant amount. So that's one thing. A second thing we got going on. We still are burning through the surplus of tree oil, but this surplus of tree oil is already gone. But the thing is that both of those guys are coming off of the one fractionating still, and they're not grabbing anything from this one. So this fractionating still is completely shut down at the moment. No rosin balls are being made, and because the tree oil reservoir is full. You got to empty out the tree oil reservoir a little bit for it to at least start processing again. So that one is currently sitting idle. I just want to come back here real quick and double check that the fluid pipe is connected. So it's grabbing it should grab the fuel from there, the fluid, but it's utilizing that first one before anything else. And this one's still processing because it can. And it's got a surplus of those rosin balls, so that's not coming over here either. So I think we really found our balance here. It's the number's hardly going down at all. Maybe if I upgraded this one to the last tier and added one more, it'll probably actually make a dent, but this looks to be a good balance. It keeps on popping up to 62, right back down to 61. It is a good balance for the most part. It is going down a little bit at the moment, but I'm sure if that other still was running, it would still be increasing. And it did eventually equalize back to that 61. So this is what we got to look at now. Over here, we are using 60 RF per tick. So between the 3 of those, that's 180 RF per tick being used. This guy's cranking out 200. So there we have a surplus of 20. And between these two, they're cranking out 480 to each as well, for a total of 960. So we take that plus the 20, we have a surplus, a bonus of 980 per tick, and you can see our batteries are going up significantly. So all right, that's what we're going for. Now comes the harder part of taking all this apart and putting it back together in a way that is rather compact, because as of right now, this is really messy and dirty and ugly, and I gotta jump around in order just to get to places. So we're gonna try and we're gonna take all this down. All this is coming down, including these batteries. We're gonna move all of the energy cells or batteries against that wall. We're going to have the dynamos put in here and fractionating stills over this way. and we're going to try to make this look good. So let me go ahead and pull all this down, put some stuff away. Chances are everything that's here that I'm not using, I'm going to take over to Spawn for them to use. And let's try to lay this out somewhat better. So I think I may have overdone it just a little bit with this power generation setup here. I had to come in and put in a third tree and 8 more arboreal extractors to continue getting more resin, because I'm going through resin faster than I can produce it. Which overall is no big deal, because we're cranking out a lot of these rosin balls and a lot of the tree oil. So much tree oil that I had to set up a reservoir for it, and this fills up rather quickly. I've had the rosin turned off or the resin turned off for a little bit, so I could try and get this filled up at least a little bit before I come back. And so I have that running, and let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. All of these are using 60 RF per tick, so this entire setup is 360 RF. Now, if we come over here, one of these is generating 360 RF. So that power generation is taken care of by one of those. Now, the rest of these are still making 360, and these ones are doing 480. So we have over 2,000 RF per tick being generated. And you can see we got a lot of pipes running around here. I tried to sneak all the pipes away in a way that they wouldn't be too obtrusive or in the way and whatnot, and I believe I got that done for the most part. So we're generating over, actually I think we're generating over 2,500 RF per tick. The batteries here are remaining full. They're not running low at all. So I'm actually going to come in here and turn, once again, this off. Actually, I'll just reduce it down by those 4. Because getting to those other ones, getting to that's kind of hard to get to. I got to jump up and down to get to it. So I'll just keep those 2 running. I'll leave the rest of these off. I have all this leftover tree oil and everything, and hopefully just those 2 will allow me to build up a little bit of supply of resin here. And let's go take a look at this real quick. Let's go ahead and come up into the main area of the powerhouse, and let's see just how much we have going on. So, compactor, when full running, is 150 RF per tick. This hardly ever runs. It's mainly used to make gears or plates, so hardly ever used. Fluid transposer is 200 RF per tick, so between those 2, that's 350. 400 on the crucible here, so that's 750. Come over here to the pulverizer. That's only using 60. So we're at, what, 510? No, 7, 8, 10. 11, 10. And 15, or 14, 10. So we're not even using anywhere close to that 2,500 RF per tick. Nowhere close. And all right, now it's time to go ahead and show off something that we did in a live stream, which is this lovely wall of caches. All of these caches can hold up to 2,000 items, and we have a couple extra over here that are unassigned at the moment. I just threw something in there to stop from accidentally throwing something in there that is already in here, because it'll travel to the closest box. So as these finish processing, they will throw items to the closest box possible. So if these have nothing unassigned, if these have nothing assigned to them, then it'll fill it with whatever is there. So we just threw something in there temporarily to lock it so it doesn't throw things in there. And when you come in here to take a look at this, if there's something you need, there's a certain amount. We have this multimeter here. You just grab that, go to what you need. Let's say platinum ingots. Right click, and you can see there are 31 or 13 platinum ingots in there. So if we need it, we can go ahead and grab it. I got a couple extra things in my inventory. And also what we did during our live stream was we built this nice little bridge. So now I don't have to use a boat to get back and forth quickly. And I don't have to slowly go through the water. I can just run across the bridge and no big deal. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and look into the latest task assigned to us from the Game Master. All right, this is what we got going on here now, is that the KerPOW, our Game Master, has set forth another task to be done. And this one is a bit of a build challenge. In this mod pack, we have a mod called Serene Seasons. And that's the thing that gave us the greenhouse glass. We have a season clock, and we have a season sensor as well. Well, what this mod pack does is that over time, it will slowly change things from winter to spring, summer, fall. Summer, the colors are more vibrant. Winter, the water freezes over and snow falls everywhere. And at the moment, we are currently in... Oh, it disappeared. I guess I had a guy smack the wall or something. So let's see what we need for season clock, quartz, and redstone. So let's just make that real quick. And let's see exactly what season it is at the moment. Looking at this, it looks to be, I believe that's springtime. Yeah, I believe that's springtime. Okay, so with that in mind, what I'm thinking we're going to do is we're going to use that little peninsula area over there. And the task set forth was to build a shrine to one season or all seasons. And I think we're going to build one strictly to summer, because there's a couple things that we know we can do. That if you put a dispenser underneath grass blocks and give it a redstone signal, if there's bone meal inside it, it'll automatically grow flowers and grass and whatnot. This is one little trick we're going to utilize. So what I'm thinking is we're going to go ahead and put up a little building here to begin with, and we're going to go from there. So let me go ahead and get a building up and some things in, and we'll be back. So there is our basic little building we're going to be using here, and I actually went a little bit above and beyond what I needed to do for the building. I went ahead and wired in some of the redstone stuff to begin with. So up top here we have one of the season sensors. I'm going to go ahead and flip that off of what the current season is, and I'm sure you heard the pistons go off. I'm going to go ahead and come down here and do that for this one too, and you hear those pistons go off. So now what that basically is that if it is not summertime, you can't get in this building. Not allowed. Only in summertime are you allowed in the building itself. Let's go ahead and open that right back up again by switching that to the proper season that it is now, which is springtime. And all those sticky pistons retracted to open the building up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that piece of dirt down and let the grass grow onto there. Now, the second part of this is that we're going to put down these dispensers, and I want to put them right here in this corner, right underneath that block. So let me go ahead and do this all the way around, and then we'll go ahead and throw some bone meal inside each of these. Not going to throw in a whole lot of bone meal. I'm going to throw in just enough. Now, just enough is probably going to be, I don't know. The question is, how much bone meal do we have here in this backpack? Almost 2 stacks worth. So let's go ahead and split that up between them here. We're doing 4 stacks, right? We have 4 dispensers. That gives me 3 left over. So 28 into each dispenser. That's going to be more than enough for what we need. So we're going to throw that in there, and then I got to figure out a way to wire this up to what we got down here, which I think is going to have to be done in some sort of tricky way. Let me see what I can do. Well, thankfully I remembered that since I was powering this block here, I could go ahead and grab the signal from underneath it. Though I just broke it. Let's put that back. And that'll actually carry over to all these areas. I have it going around and under, then continuing down another tunnel like this one, where you can see this one goes down and around as well, continues down that tunnel, and that does go ahead and hit all of these dispensers. So that is perfect. We go ahead and get the dirt blocks back in here, and eventually those get covered up by grass, and we'll have a nice clean area, just like this one should get covered over with grass eventually. I know it would be good to go ahead and put a torch down, try and get that to spread a little bit quicker. And so we only have one more thing to do in here, which is first I gotta get some fences going around this entire area. So let me go ahead and do that with, I think I'm going to go with the dark oak fences. I use the jungle wood on top because it's a little bit of a brighter color, and since we are working with summertime, I figure that might be a good bright color to use. So I want to keep that contrast going and get the dark oak fences on the bottom there. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. We can just throw down a table and grab some dark oak. And I should have somewhere in here. There we go. Dark oak fences. That's going to be more than what we need. And we're going to start off sectioning this area off to about there. I need to be able to get back inside here. Now, one thing we have are all of these little grove sprites just wandering around and whatnot. And you know what? I think I need myself a lead in order to do anything here. Let me go get a lead real quick. Okay, now that I got a lead, let's see if I can lead this little guy. Yeah, it looks like I can. Perfect. So I'm going to grab one of these little guys, capture him, and use him. Except I think I put away my fences. We're going to use this little guy as our summertime spirit. And let me make sure to grab that name tag out of there. So we'll bring him back over here. Come on in here, buddy. And then I want to go ahead and throw down... I guess I didn't want to throw down the fence yet. Let's take that off and then throw down the fence. And then we have the name tag. We're going to go ahead and name this guy the Spirit of Summer. Spirit of Summer. There we go. So now he's there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and trigger these to be summertime sensors here, which is the blue and the bright sun. And then we'll go ahead and take this out. And then down here, I got to replace some of the dirt that's here and some of the redstone that needs to go on top of it real quick. That's going to be a hard one to get. I need to put a piece of dirt here and put a repeater on it. We'll get that in a second, but let's put in the redstone. Go ahead and flip it to summer. And then let me get that in, and I guess I'll break that for now. And I'll break that one for now. So I can get a repeater in here. There we go. Okay. Now we can reconnect that. And everything should be... These should be powered on. That line should be powered off, which it is. Go ahead and seal that back up. And I am done with my shrine to summertime. So now when it triggers, the doors will open, or all these logs will be pulled up, pulled down. The dispensers will trigger, instantly growing a bunch of flowers and grass. I think that's good for summer. I'll be right back, though. I need to sleep away this night. All right, so there we go. All the grass is growing over and everything, and we're good. So we're going to call this building done and this episode over, and I'm going to say thank you for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of power we did in the powerhouse and our little summertime shrine here. So as far as KerPOW's challenge is concerned, it is done. I hope that's going to be something that he's going to enjoy. The fact that this building only opens in summertime. Let me put a little spirit in there, and grass automatically growing. Grass and flowers automatically growing. Until next time, everybody, take care, be well, and I hope to see you again soon.